ear. It took a big chunk off. It's bleeding. It's bleeding. Oh no, it's bleeding. The thing just ripped my ear off. What do you think?
Hello, everyone, and welcome along to the second Eddie and Stevo, the podcast of 2021. Now, thanks for all the great feedback to last month's chat with Kevin Sinfield, by the way. Glad you enjoyed it as much as I did. And with the pandemic showing no signs of easing off anytime soon, Stevo is still in Australia right now. And he says he'll only return when he feels it's 100% safe to do so. We will be talking to him next month and every week thereafter once the Super League season is up and running again. But this month, after talking to Kevin in January, I'm delighted to say that I'm joined by another living legend of the game, Warrington Wolves' Lee Briers. Now, I named Lee as the best player I had seen in Super League on my retirement at Easter 2019. So let's get going and talk to him right now. Lee, many thanks for taking the time out for me. First of all, how are you coping during these very, very strange times?
Oh, well, firstly, thank you for having me on. And obviously, Stevo's got it a bit better than us at the moment, isn't he, over in Australia? But yeah, it's great to be on. And it's like anybody else. It's tough at the moment, Eddie, as you well know. And I suppose we're quite lucky that we're professional sports people. We can go to work each day, and we can run around the field and take our minds off what is a terrible situation in the world. And I really feel for everybody who's been affected by it, and let's hope that we can get through it and come out stronger the other side. And I'm sure we will. I'm sure, because one thing I know about us British, us English, that we're resilient, and we'll come out of it stronger, and we'll be stronger for it.
We will indeed. Look, I'm going to come on to your current role as assistant coach at the Wolves a little bit later on, but can I, right at the start of this, take you back to the very start of your career, 1997. At your hometown club of St Helens, and you made your debut at 18, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I actually, not many people know this, but when I was at Saints in the autumn of '96, I went out to France and went and played for Carcassonne for 3 months for their first team, and that did me a world of good. It was the first time I was playing against men, and I come back at Christmas and made my debut in the Boxing Day game against Wigan in front of 26,000 at Central Park. So I would always look back on them times in France, and they stood me in great stead for what was to come. But coming back to St Helens at Christmas, I didn't once think that I was going to play first team. Not even once, but obviously played the 6 or 7 times. And it was just a dream come true from a boy from over the road in Eccleston to make his debut for his own town club. So yeah, I've got really fond memories of that, and it's something I dreamt about, but never really believed I could do it. Didn't really have much confidence in my ability, but somebody did, and I thank them for that.
Well, I remember you came into the side because Bobby Goulding was out suspended, wasn't he? He'd got sent off in a cup tie that year. And as it happened, he was out for such a long time. You actually helped St Helens to the Challenge Cup final in 1997, but you weren't included in the squad for the final against the Bradford Bulls. Was that a decision that really was the beginning of the end for you at Saints, or would you have been prepared to battle on?
A bit of both. A bit of, I look back at it, and obviously you can now, and in hindsight's great, isn't it? But going back to that game where Bobby Goulding got sent off against Neil Cowie, and I was in the stands that day, with my friends. I was in the academy, playing the academy, and for the academy, we'd had a few pints watching the Wigan Saints derby in the Challenge Cup, and probably had a bit too many. But when Bobby Goulding hit Neil Cowie round the head and smashed him, I was jumping up and down, screaming, as a normal fan would. And I did never once realise that actually that moment in that game where Bobby got sent off would change my life forever. Just that one moment, because 2 days later, Sean McRae got me in his office and said, "We're gonna throw you into the number 7 shirt, and you're gonna make you're gonna play for St Helens in the first team." So, I thank Bobby for getting sent off. Really, I've got a lot to thank him for it. No, Bobby Golding was fantastic for me at Saints. Even on our days, well, I wasn't even full time, but on days off, Bobby used to bring me in to Nosey Road doing some kicking, and I suppose he's still looking out for me when he got sent off because it was the making of me, really. And further on down the line, obviously we played in the Challenge Cup and we played in the semi-final, and then getting to the final was amazing. But I was still a young kid. I still knew where I was in the squad. Bobby Golding was going to come back, and there was no way I thought that I would ever play. There was no way that I thought I'd ever be on the bench. I was grounded as a person, so I knew that I had to bide my time in the A team as it was then, the reserves, and work my way up. Probably do 2 or 3 seasons, and looking around 2021 to get in. So I knew all those things, but as you well know, the Challenge Cup final takes some organising in itself. So. Obviously, you go down on the Thursday, you do the walk around Wembley and you stay in a hotel. So that takes a lot of organising. Everybody gets suits and whatnot. So leading up to this, it was probably about 3 weeks before the directors and the club called a meeting to organise everything, to outline the logistics. And it transpired in this meeting that, I wasn't going to go down with a squad. I wasn't going to do the hotel. I wasn't going to get a new suit. I was gutted about the new suit more than anything because I only ever had a pair of slacks, and that was to get caught in. So I was gutted about that. No, but I was really upset. I was really, really upset that they weren't even going to take me down on the Thursday, and I was going to go down with the academy on the Saturday there and back. And now it wasn't a big thing that I would have gone with my mum and dad if I had to, but I thought it was a bit disrespectful. And fair play to Chris Joint that day, because he showed the true leader of what a captain is and stood right up for me in that meeting. But I come out with that meeting very, very disillusioned with my town, my team. All I ever wanted was St Helens. Just to put in perspective, I signed St Helens. I signed for £1,000 a year. I got it every birthday. I was on £29.50 a week, and I was still on £1,000 when I was playing first team. Money was not an issue to me. I just wanted to play for Saints. It was just an unbelievable an honour for me. So I come out of that meeting. I was a bit disillusioned, and I was angry, and I was upset. And then it was probably about a day. It was next day actually. Tommy Cunningham, who's Kieran Cunningham's brother, he's an agent. He actually phoned home. Well, he didn't phone our house because we couldn't afford a house phone at the time. So he phoned my next door neighbour, whose house we usually use. And I honestly, to this day, don't know how he got that number. So Karen from over the road, who's a mad Saints fan, come over and she said, "Lee, there's a guy on the phone." And he says, "He's Tommy Cunningham. He's an agent." So I went, and I honestly swore hand on heart that I didn't even know agents existed in the game. I just thought, you play rugby league for the fun of it. I didn't know about money and whatnot. And he got me. He actually got me at the right time, if you like, for Warrington, because I was at my lowest point then. And he said, "Listen, Warrington are coming, and they want to make you the number 7, and they want to meet you. How do you feel?" And you know what? I said, "Yeah, let's do it." Now, in hindsight, if you put Lee Briers, a 42-year-old, in that situation, I probably would have took a step back and gone, no, I'm all right. But they turned my head because I'd had a taste of being a number 7 in Super League, and I wanted more. And so they got me at the right time, to be fair. If it would have been a 2-day later, I probably would have said no. But they got me, and we had a meeting. I met Paul Cullen and Darryl van der Velde picked me up on the Black Bull car park in St Helens. Took me to Taylor Park, a park round the corner, and we had a chat. And I liked everything they said. They said they were going to build a team around me, which, let's not forget, 6 months prior to this, I was a 10.5 stone lad who was just playing on the bowling greens at night around where he lived. So it was massive. I go back to the money side of things. Now, I was rubbish at school. I did absolutely rubbish. Maths, I didn't do maths, but I knew when they offered me £36,000 a year and £36,000 cash in my hand, that's a lot more than £1,000. So it was a big turning point as well. But the main thing, he was going to give me number 7, and I was due to have my first child in September that year. So that was a big thing. I could get on the property ladder, and they say the rest is history. And I honestly believe that it's the best thing I've ever done.
Well, it was an absolutely dream move for you as it came about, because quite apart from all of that, the money and everything else, and on the property ladder, and they're going to build the team around you, you actually were a nominee for the Young Player of the Year in 1997, weren't you? Your first year in the Warrington colours, you impressed people that much that you got one of the 3 nominees as Young Player of the Year.
Yeah, I got nominated and won it, which from a rugby sense, it doesn't really mean that much to me, the individual honours. They never have. And it's, people look at me and go, you're lying, because I was, everybody thought that, myself was an individual flair player, which I was. I was to a point, but the team always come first and always will come first. So as much as it was an unbelievable award to win, I knew that without my teammates that I wouldn't have got that far. So yeah, it was one of what I look back now and retired on, and look back at them individual honours and go, yeah, I like that. That's something that, somebody's seen something in your peers and whatnot. And, I can tell my son now who's on that ladder that's what you've got to strive to. It's important that you do that.
It is indeed. And it was a few years later, I think 2003, you were made captain of the team. That must have been a very proud moment for you too.
It was a very, very proud moment. Probably, up there in the top 3 when I look back. And it's an awesome thing to captain, your club, your country, whatever that may be, because you need to be a leader. Now, I can look back on them times now, and I can honestly say, Briers wasn't the best captain that Warrington Wolves have ever had. Would I do things differently? Probably not, but I can see why Paul couldn't give me the captain, because of I was the number 1 player. 2009,
you beat Huddersfield in the final. First Challenge Cup for Warrington since 74, and the first silverware since the Regal Trophy in 91. A new era had certainly begun at Warrington then, and I know that 2009 was extra special for you, because you'd suffered personal tragedy, hadn't you, with the death of your brother Brian 8 years previously, and you dedicated the win that day to Brian's memory.
Yeah, it was real weird actually, because it was his birthday on the semi-final day when we played Wigan at Widnes, and so it was weird that in 2009 that was his birthday in the semi-final, and I scored a try under the post, and then in 2010 it happened again. It was the same day, and I scored in exactly the same place. So something about it. But going back to 2009, yeah, turning up to Wembley for the very first time, and we'd not won there in 34 years, I think you said, and it was just very, very special. And leading up to that, that week was just super, super sharp. The training was the best I've ever seen it. Tony Smith, he was brought to Warrington to get us across the line to win them big games, and you could tell when we got to them finals, he took another level. And our training down in London was unbelievable. Everything was sorted for us, down to the women's hotel, the girls' hotel, what Simon Rang, our owner, kindly paid for, and the tickets were all taken care of, and everything. The white noise there was no white noise. Everything was geared up to win. And a little story about that. I used to get really nervous for games, be it playing Swinton, be it playing Wigan, anybody. So the week leading up to the semi-final, I didn't sleep. I probably slept about 3 hours a night. Woke up every morning, and I was violently sick every single morning. Played the game. I always used to be sick before the game, and I was sick at half time. Played, obviously, beat Wigan in the semi-final. So the week leading up to Wembley, wow, it was real weird. The full week leading up to it, I was just so calm. No nerves whatsoever. I'm thinking, oh no, what's going on? Gets to Wembley, no sick before the game, and I'm thinking, oh no, there's something going on here. And then my son was lucky enough to be mascot, so I walked out the tunnel. My son's there, whether he was keeping me calm or not. It was just real weird. And I remember Keith Mason was stood at the side of me, the Huddersfield prop, and he said, listen, both teams are lined up, and he just come out with listen, all we got to do is look after Briers today. We win the game. And I just turned around and said, it's funny you should say that because we're coming after you, Keith. So it was all crystal clear. I took everything in, and people say that take everything at Wembley because it goes so quick. Well, I was the opposite. Everything was just like perfectly. It was like I'd been there before, done it before, and realizing now I'm a real deep thinking about the game and deep thinking about what I've done well and what I need to work on in my past, what I've in my career, and I've come to the conclusion, and I don't know if you've ever heard about the 10,000 rule. So if you do something 10,000 times or 10,000 hours, you master it. Well, for me, every little piece of grass in St Helens from when I can remember being four years of age when I first picked a rugby ball up, every little piece of grass, every rugby post, every lamp post in my mum and dad's street was Wembley. So I was always playing at Wembley, and I used to always say, this is for the winning goal at Wembley. This is a field goal. Briers is going to kick the winning kick, or when we're playing 2v2 against my mates on the plantations, this is a try to win at Wembley. So looking back at it, I'd done it. I'd rehearsed it in my mind that many times. I'd been to Wembley, I'd done it. So it was just like
10,000 times.
Done it.
10,000
Absolutely.
times.
I'd probably done it 10 million times.
I bet you had.
I was, and looking back, I thought, what a great story. And that's the God's honest truth thinking. I wasn't nervous. And even the times when I went back and played the other finals, it was exactly the same. It was like I'd been there before and done it. And it's just, it is that, do it 10,000 times. I suppose that's why I'm at golf every day trying to do that 10,000 times.
you don't need as much practice at that. I've seen you play. You're a great golfer. Could you ever picked up the clubs and played golf leaf as a professional, do you think? Because you hit the ball a mile, you're dead straight, you're dedicated to your golf as much as you are to your rugby. Could you play golf at the professional level?
Probably not, because I didn't play it young enough. I only took it up when I was seriously. I played all through my career probably once a week from being 21, but I only really took it up from when I retired it was probably about 210 I took it up. Seriously took it up, joined a golf club, and I joined a golf club at Grange Park, and they gave me 16, and I've just got my new handicap of 3. So we're getting there. So, but the aim is, it's funny you said that. So I'm addicted to it. It's something what's helped me in life. When I retired, I went into coaching, but I played golf a lot when I retired. And up until this lockdown, Eddie, I've never realised why. I always thought that I would struggle mentally by missing rugby league, and I've never missed it once. And I've only realised, again, I'm a deep thinker, I've only realised in lockdown is golf saved me. Golf has saved me mentally because I played it. So I've got a little goal set for when I'm 50. I want to join the seniors tour, whether that just be for 1 year or self-fund myself. But that's the goal. I want to be a professional. I want to be seniors tour when I'm 50. But I'm going to try my best to get there. Probably won't, but I'm going to try my goddamn hardest to get there.
Well, that would be amazing if you did that. It really would. Look, just back briefly to 2009 again. I think I'm right in saying that you and Adrian Morley, he called on you, didn't he, to come up, and you both lifted the trophy together. And you got your 60th career drop goal at Wembley that day. Do you know that?
I didn't know about the 60th career drop goal. No, I just got to take a moment because I get emotional when you speak about Adrian's generosity. Really,
yeah.
It just shows you what the true worth of that man is. He didn't have to do that, but he knew what I've been through. He knew what the amount of effort and loyalty I've given to Warrington over the years, and for him to let me share that moment was, well, how do I pay that back?
Impossible.
Well, it is impossible. But Moz knows that he's my captain, and he always will be my captain. And listen, I'll be there at a drop of a phone call if he ever needs me. He knows that. But it was just an unbelievable gesture. Unbelievable.
It was fantastic. It was a great moment. I remember it well. And Michael Monaghan won the Lance Todd Trophy that day, just edging you out in the vote. But 12 months later, you went back to Wembley again, and you got the Lance Todd this time yourself. And this time it was against Leeds.
Yeah, and unbelievable. Leeds were favourites to win that, but again, Wembley just seemed like our home.
Yes.
It was just, again, it was super, super sharp training. Everybody focused. Tony Smith, again, knowing what we needed to do, understood it, delivered his messages nice and simple, and we executed the plan to a T. And I was lucky and fortunate enough to walk off with the Lance Todd. And again, it's really weird, because obviously when I won it, I pointed up to the sky to my brother, and it looks. And this is how I feel it looks. It looks really selfish and, being an individual kind of thing. But it wasn't. It never come across as that. Nobody's ever said it, but it's just my thoughts that, I did those things because generally the Lance Todd's given to the man of the match of the winning team. I never knew how long was left in the game because I was just in the moment. But as soon as I heard that, I knew that we must be close to winning the game. And I was elated to win it because I'm a rugby league nerd. I truly am, and that is in my eyes, that is the best man of the match you can win in rugby league, in all of rugby league.
Well, it's got such tradition about it, hasn't it? There's so much tradition surrounding Lance Todd and the award for Wembley. So much tradition.
It is, because we've grew up on the Challenge Cup final as well, and
yes,
you probably probably didn't realise the significance of winning that award. Again, I was still playing, so I didn't really want to celebrate it as much. But I'm retired now, and I couldn't be more prouder to have my name alongside Lance Todd. It's the likes of Martin O'Fires, Ellery Hanley's, Alex Murphy's. The list goes on, and my
legends
name,
all. Yeah, legends all.
My name's next to him, and I don't for 1 minute count myself in the same bracket as those guys. But I'm down in Folklore, and it's there, and for my parents, it's a massive thing, and we have a scroll up of every name on there, and my name's one of them, and it's not bad from a lad from a rough council estate in St Helens.
It isn't. You've done brilliantly, Lee. You have, and at that time it was an incredible run of cup success for the Warrington Wolves at the time, because you went back again in 2012. You were back there. You made it 3 wins in 4 seasons, another against Leeds, and lo and behold, another Lee Briers drop goal at Wembley.
Oh, did I kick one in that one?
Yeah, I believe so. Oh,
I didn't know. Again.
Well, I'm going off memory here, and that's not brilliant now at my age. But I'm almost sure you did, Lee. I'm almost sure you did.
Oh well, what about the drop goals?
Yeah, definitely. Well, listen, you were a fantastic exponent of the drop goal. And what about the big debate? There are some within the game who decry it. Stevo always jumped for joy whenever you slotted one over. And he once kicked 5 in a game against Halifax in 2002, a joint record for Warrington with Paul Bishop, who achieved the same once upon a time. A lot of people decry it, though, say it's only 1 point. It's only 1 point. Why are they going for the drop goal? But you scored more than anybody.
It makes a massive difference. They can absolutely demoralise teams. If you're 12 points up with 12 minutes to go and you kick a field goal, well, they've got to score. They've got to score 3 tries. And it just demoralises, and used the right way. It's a massive part of our game of rugby league. What I would say is, I would change the rule of, if you went for a drop goal, that it's a 7 tackle set if you miss, because what we're then doing is we're not giving that drop goal full respect. We'll be worried to give teams seven tackles, which I think, because it's a skill on its own, a drop goal. So it shouldn't be punished if you miss. It takes a brave person to go for a drop goal, because if you miss, the team gets it back on a restart 20 metres downfield. If you get
certainly in the Golden Point era, in that era.
It's wrong. It's a wrong rule. So that rule was brought in, that 7 tackle rule in my eyes was brought in for teams who kick the ball from 40 metres dead to waste time.
I can see where you're coming from with that. They're going to award 2 points, aren't they, for a drop goal in Australia this year? Not in Super League, though. How do you feel about that? Because, as you say, it's a skill in itself. Should it be worth 2 points rather than just the one, or are you happy to stick with the single point?
I could see both kind of positives from it. 1 point's great, 2 points even better, as long as they don't stop it. It's it's a valuable, an exceptional skill to be able to do at the right time. So, it's not a bad thing, but no, I stick to the one. We keep to the traditions. We don't need to keep changing rules. One's enough.
Absolutely. We've talked about the Challenge Cup and all the successes, but never a league title. Warrington's last, coming in 1954-55 season. That remains Warrington's holy grail, doesn't it?
Yes, it's eluded us. It's not for one to try in, but to win a grand final, everything, all the stars have got on the line for you. It's as simple as that. You've got to play well, but that's a given. You've got to have luck. That's a given. Sometimes the weather might go against you, but two teams. There's a whole host of things. We played really well in the Leeds and Wigan games. Leeds were just too good on the day. They were more experienced than us in them big games, and they were fully deserved winners. The Wigan game was different. We were way ahead of them in the first half, and then on the stroke of half time, this is where the luck evaded us. Joe Monaghan got stretchered off.
Yeah,
they scored the next play. They went into half time with a bit of a buzz about them. We had to rejig because Joe went off. They come out firing. I think they scored, and then on the back of that, Steph Ratchford got stretchered off. So we've lost our fullback. So I had to go to fullback, and then Wigan had the ascendancy, and Wigan, when they've got you the bit between the teeth, they're ruthless at it, and they absolutely dominated in the second half and deserved that. But without Joel and Steph getting took off, it could have been a lot different. Who knows? But again, you need to have them everything aligned. And unfortunately, we've not aligned them yet.
No, not yet.
We're working hard to do that, and we're still a relatively inexperienced. At grand final, we've been there how many times now? 4 and lost. You've got to go through them heartaches before you win one.
Indeed.
You've got to. Sometimes you can win one and then not win for a long time. But if you want to be sustainable, you've got to work out a way to do it. And from top to bottom, we're trying our best to do that. And hopefully, one's around the corner. But the more we talk about it, the more pressure we put on ourselves, and we can just worry about the process of each day of turning up to training and being better than we was yesterday. And we've got to keep working and striving for that.
Indeed so. Let's talk internationals for a moment. A star for Wales of 23 caps, but you're a St Helens lad. For those who mightn't know, where does the Welsh connection come from?
Yeah, so my Welsh connection come on from my mum's side. My mum's mum was from Flint, that's where the heritage comes from. My grandma, and right. I loved every minute of playing for Wales. Absolutely every minute. It was something what I look back on with fond memories, and to captain my country was unbelievable. And I've been asked to play for England, and but it just didn't feel right. And I'm not one of these to jump ship from country to country. I think once you pin your badge to one, you should stick to one. And it was just fabulous. It was more of a club team than a country, because we had to fight for everything, and we had to build our camaraderie on team spirit and whatnot. It was unbelievable.
Oh, it was. And I tell you what, the World Cup semi-final of 2000 at Huddersfield, Wales, marshalled by your good self, you led the mighty Kangaroos at half-time in that match. You were 20-0 up midway through the second half. It would have been one of the greatest World Cup upsets of all time. You were so close, weren't you? So close.
Yeah, and we just run out of steam in the end. It was just unbelievable, wasn't it? It was just one of them. It just shows that it wants momentum in rugby league, even for the minnows like we was to take the Aussies all the way. It was just unbelievable. And we only had 15 fit players on the Wednesday of that week. We were playing on Sunday. We only had 15. We had no more players to play, so we had to get John Devereux and Paul Moriarty, who had never played rugby league since 1996, I think it was, to come and play in a World Cup semi-final. I think they were like something like 35 years of age each and not played for 4 years. That's just that, and we did that to Australia. And, you know, it's probably the most famous ever loss.
Definitely. Was he your finest
in
international moment, do you think, that? In defeat,
yeah,
despite the defeat?
Yeah, even because we got beat, because we just went, there was no pressure on us. It was just unbelievable what happened. And we obviously, half time coming, we were all sat there, and I think it's 20 points to 8 up. And we're like, what's going on here?
Yeah, we all said that.
Yeah, but, you know, isn't that the magic of sport?
Of course it is.
On any given day, that anybody can win. Just believe in yourself. If anybody out there, just believe in yourself. You know, your mind and your body are unbelievable things. You know, if you've got a group of people who believe, well, the mind is that powerful. It happens. You just got to believe. So.
And it so nearly did that day. But look, just the one Great Britain cap, and that was against France in 2001. And this is despite my Briers for Britain campaign, the badges that I allegedly got produced.
Have you got any?
I've got a box full in the garage. Why do you think you never played more times for Great Britain? Was it because you were hampered because we had a golden age of halfbacks at that time, didn't we? Did that go against you?
Yeah, I reckon there's an array of things, Ed. I think. Listen, there's no hiding from the fact I wasn't a great professional. I was not a great professional. Probably, you know, didn't train as hard as I should have been. I thought it was too. My talent probably got me through a lot. So that would be one thing, and you know that's my fault and nobody else's fault. I can live with that. Again, you learn from it. You make sure that the people you coach don't make the same mistakes. We had wonderful halfbacks at the time. They were playing at clubs what were winning as well. They were winning grand finals and Challenge Cup finals. And you know, and at the end of the day, your face has got to fit. So all in all, you know, I look back at it and am I disappointed? I'm not. It's life. People, you know, I earned that one cap for Great Britain, which I look back fondly on. Should I have more? Well, that's for other people to think. And you know, it was great that you always had my back on that, and I really, really appreciate that, Eddie. I really do. But you know, it happened, and you move on. All I can do now is use that experience to pass on to players who I coach, and make sure that they get everything. They tick every box they need to if they've got aspirations playing for the country.
Good enough. Well, listen, I mean, you say I had your back. For me, pound for pound at that time, you were the best number 6 we had, number 6, number 7. Why you weren't given more of a chance, I don't know. But that's maybe a story for another day. You retired when the body said, look, I've had enough. 2013, after the grand final defeat by Wigan. And you're still there now as assistant coach at Warrington. Were you always going to give the game a go at coaching? It sounds like you were.
Yeah, well, basically, from being a halfback, you need to coach anyway on the field. But I've coached since I've been 21. I've done all the local teams in St Helens. You know, all the open age. I've coached me. I coached my son from being 6 to 14. So I'd always coached while I played. So you know, it's given me valuable experience. Knowledge is power. So what happened was really is in 2013 when I had my neck injury the first time, and I was out for 16 weeks. So I said, listen to the club. I said, I'll come down to the academy sessions and voluntarily and do some sessions, take the halfbacks, take out some attack and stuff, and do that. And while I was doing that, Gary Chambers, who was the head coach, moved on to Swinton's head coach. So then the assistant coach moved to head coach of the academy, and I become assistant coach. Right. So things fell in place. So I'm a big believer in fate, and that's the way it progressed. And my contract to play was up, so I signed up a 1-year deal to play, and then I was going to play another year, and then a 2-year coaching gig to coach the academy as head coach. Carried on coaching the academy that year, and then I had another neck injury where found out after the grand final where I'd had to retire. So instead of playing in 2014 and then coaching 215-16. I brought the coach into 214-215, and that's what it went from there. And the plan what I had progressing, being the academy head coach and then being assistant coach and moving up is, I've got a 10-year plan, and it's going the way I envisaged, probably better at the moment, because in that I coached England academy, and we had Warrington reserves last year, which was another step up. But at the end of the 10 years, the plan is to be a head coach. But that goal has changed now. At this moment in time, I don't want to be a head coach. It's not something I think is for me. Could I do it? Yes, definitely could do it, 1,000,000%. But do I need the hassle of what comes with that? Probably not. But things change. I'm happy at the moment. I'm striving to be the best assistant coach I can be the best version of myself I can be, and see what comes. But at the moment, head coach is totally off my radar. But never say never in this game.
It might change.
I just can't see myself being that at the moment. But I learn every day. I do a lot of CPD. I go to other organisations. I've had a few offers to go to rugby union. I got a massive offer. I think it wasn't last year. It was the year before. A massive offer to go over to rugby union, but it just didn't sit right at the time. I just signed a new deal at Warrington 3 months before that, and my 3 values are loyalty, honesty, and trust. And I wouldn't be showing much loyalty if I left after 3 months of a new deal. So there's options. There's always options coming to me. It's probably just working out, but I'm loving my time at Warrington. Do we ever see myself leaving? I'm not sure. If the club want me to stay forever, I don't know. There's things to work out, but it's good that I've got some options of both in this country and over on the other side of the world.
Brilliant.
So I must be doing something right, I suppose.
You are. Oh, definitely you are. Your autobiography was called Off the Cuff, wasn't it? And I know you've got a plan and you've got a master plan. You played off the cuff. You love to see players play off the cuff. And talking of which, we've got the new season coming up, hopefully very, very soon. And Greg Inglis is the headline act at Warrington this year. We all can't wait to see him in Super League. And people say if he plays to 80% of his form from Australia, he'll be fabulous over here, a sensation. Do you think so?
Oh, listen, when you're talking to the likes of Greg Inglis, you're talking to the likes of Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, to name a few, Ronnie O'Sullivan, and they're world class athletes, like world superstar athletes. Greg's been out of the game for 2 years, so there's no pressure from us at the moment to fast forward his training and whatnot. It's a slow process. Greg understands that. He's been here, a month now and fitted in unbelievably well. He's great for me as a coach. He understands the game of rugby league. Why wouldn't he? He's been at the top of his game for so long, and he's great for me to lend a bit of advice to, and he tips me up on some drills and where I can learn and where he's learning off me, and where he can get my message across to the players. From a player's point of view, everything about the guy just screams world class. So good. I'm not gonna make any predictions on obviously any media forums that he's going to be the Greg Inglis of 2018 when he last played, or whenever that was. Greg will put enough pressure on himself. There's one thing for sure is, what I will say is, when he jumps in our sessions, you won't think he's been out for two years. Wow. But there's a long way to go. But what a fabulous addition to Super League, Greg Inglis. I was only watching yesterday, I think it was, yesterday or day before, but our game, Warrington against Leeds, where Andrew John played his first game. And I'll speak. And that was what a night. And And, you know, our mate Stevo is over in Oz to say, no, it's not fair, he shouldn't be here. But, you know, how can we deny these world-class athletes coming to our game and enhancing our sport? Because that's what's going to happen. If there was fans at the first game with Greg Inglis, well, let's say, for instance, I've got friends in St Helens who are all Saints fans, and they say, we will be coming to Warrington to watch Greg Inglis.
There you go. He's going to put bums on seats when we're allowed, isn't he? He's going to do it.
There you go. Saints fans, die-hard Saints fans saying, we'll come to Warrington when Saints are not there, by the way, and we'll watch Greg Inglis. That, for me, says it all.
Exactly. Full stop. Absolutely. Look, we've talked about your ambitions. We know you want to join the seniors tour in golf when you're 50. But I also know you make a name for yourself these days as an after-dinner speaker, don't you, on the circuit? You obviously enjoyed that as well.
Yeah, you know, it's great to tell my story because you've had a snippet of it today. Obviously, I go into it deeper. To be fair, Ed, if you was paying me the money what they pay me, I would have gone into it deeper today. But obviously, you're getting it free again.
Steady on. I told you could work 7 days a week, Lee, for now. Yeah, you know that.
You're not wrong. Yeah, so I really do like it. I really do. I like to tell my story, and it's a good story to hear, and it's from where I started, where I was born, all the way up to where I'm at now. And I don't tell any pokers, and if you ask me questions, I tell you the truth. And I think because I'm at peace. I'm happy in my life. I'm happy with the career what I've had up to now. I've done a lot of things wrong. I've done more things right. I'm learning every day from them, and it's good to tell them stories. And I do it for free. I'd honestly do it for free because I just love it. Talking rugby league, especially when it can help other rugby league clubs, amateur clubs. We're in this lockdown pandemic, and amateur clubs are really struggling. So if any amateur clubs out there need any help and they need me to speak to any kids or whatnot, I'll speak to them. Not a problem. Get in touch. I'm here to help and to give my knowledge of what I've done before, and hopefully can help people along the way.
Lee, that's a great place to end. And I know whatever you do in the future, you will be a success, I'm sure. Thank you for being so generous with your time, with your stories. It's been fantastic talking to you again. Have a truly successful season at the Wolves. And who knows, Wembley or even better, Old Trafford, and with fans. Please, God, as with fans. Wouldn't that be something, eh? Wouldn't that be something?
That's the main thing at the moment. Everybody stays healthy, but we get the fans back in. No, thanks for having me, Ed, and I really appreciate it. I'm honoured that you thought of me. And sometimes when you're out of the limelight, you get forgotten. But it's great that you've got in touch, and I appreciate every minute of it.
Lee, I know when you're out the limelight, people forget you. Don't worry about that. But we're two of a kind. It's been fabulous, Lee. Thanks very much indeed to you. Another rugby league great we've been speaking to today, and we'll be back the week before the start of the new season with Eddie and Stevo, the podcast, as the race for points and trophies begins all over again. And now you can listen to us in a variety of platforms: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, and YouTube. You just search for Eddie and Stevo, the podcast. And of course, follow us on Twitter at Eddie_Stevo, all lowercase. You'll find us somewhere there. Thanks for listening, and a special thanks to Briers as well. I'll see you all very soon.